tuko tayari kushauriana na tutakubaliana. Nataka kuchukua fursa hii kutoa shukrani kwa Wakenya wote ambaye walijitokeza kupiga kura kwa katiba mpya. Raila Odinga.
Welcome to Straight Talk. I'm your host, Yvonne Chege. Today, we wish to celebrate the life of the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga, who passed away on the 15th of October, 2025. We will remember him as a patriot, a colleague, a friend to many, alongside his relentless pursuit towards democracy, his pursuit towards a better Kenya, a better Africa. Truly, Africa and Kenya has lost a leader, a tremendous leader in our society. And in order to discuss that and to celebrate his life, we are honored to be joined by Honorable Francis Ole Kaparo. Thank you so much for joining us. He was a member of Parliament from 1988, the Speaker for National Assembly as well, up until 2005, was it?
2008.
2008, thank you. And generally we can call him a politician, a patriot, generally somebody who has also interacted with the late Raila Odinga throughout your political career. And I thank you for joining us. Perhaps I might ask you firstly, tell us, do you remember your early interaction, your first interaction with Raila Odinga?
Well, first of all, of course, it is sad that Kenya will not have Raila Odinga. It's very sad. It may not be real for many people right now, but it will dawn on us sooner than later that indeed we have lost somebody.
Do you remember?
We cannot replace. I remember, Raila, of course, first time I heard about him was when I was a young lawyer. And that was the time there was an attempted coup in Kenya. And I think he was arrested and detained. And some of our colleagues tried to get him out of detention. And therefore, when I came to Parliament and became the Speaker the first time, in 1993, January 1993, that was also the first time he came to Parliament as member for Langata. And he came to Parliament with his father. His father made a return to Parliament at that time. So I was privileged as a young speaker to have
interacted with both
Raila,
his father and Raila.
Yeah. And it was actually his father, Jaramogi, who, together with the late George Saitoti, who was then the vice president, the two of them escorted me to take the first oath of office in January 23rd, 1993.
What struck you most about him when you first met?
Well, he was a person who had a lot of energy, and a lot of times he appeared quite unsettled, quite somebody who you could see wanted to do too many things at the same time.
Hungry for a better Kenya, and that transitioned into multi-party, the conflict for multi-party democracy.
Well, multi-party, the fight for multi-party democracy preceded my my being speaker. I was then Minister for Industry, no, Assistant Minister for Labor when we had the conference in Kasarani to decide whether or not Kenya should become a multi-party state, and consequently the repeal of Section 2A of the Constitution. And if you went through the annals of your history, go back to November 5, 1991, and you'll find that on the 4th of November, 1991, everybody who spoke that day said we should not open up the country for multi-party democracy. Everybody, literally, everybody on the 4th. And it's a good thing because you can go back and have a look at what was recorded by KBC then. I believe maybe KTN was there.
And Raila stood with everyone on that day?
No, he wasn't there.
Yes.
He wasn't a member of CAN.
Okay.
But I was.
Yes.
And I was the only one who spoke for the repeal of Section 2A on the 5th of January. And it was like committing treason. It was hell for me for the balance of the day. But anyway, the long and short of it is that consequent after an adjournment, after I spoke on the 5th of November, President Moi returned and announced that indeed we should repeal Section 2A. And as members of Parliament, we repealed the Constitution, and therefore we went to the first multi-party election of a free Kenya in 1992, and it is through December 1992, and it's through that election that Raila Odinga was elected Member of Parliament for Langata, replacing Mr. Philip Liki, who was then the Member for Langata and Assistant Minister for Natural Resources. His father was also elected Member of Parliament for Bondo, and therefore, when I became Speaker, first time I had the privilege of presiding a house where Raila and his father were members. One very senior and sagely, and the other one young, activist, and all the time yearning to do something. That was then. For 15 years, we were with Raila in the same house. I was a speaker for 15 years.
It must have been very combative and also very engaging as well, to be able to interact with someone so passionate about his cause.
Yes, but he wasn't alone. There were so many. At that time, we had so many very vibrant political leaders, very many. I think we truly would love to go back to that time. You'll never have in the same house people like Martin Shikoku, Raila Odinga, his father, Professor Nyang'nyong, and a variety of others. All the people who are called the Young Turks, Kenneth Matiba, former President Mwai Kibaki, even President Moi himself was a member of the House, along with many. So we had many earth-shaking political giants, among them the young Raila Odinga. And over time, of course, he grew. Over time, he grew. When he came in, he was simply the member for Langata. And subsequently, his father died. and he attempted to be the leader of his father's party, Ford Kenya. And he had a duel with the late Wamalwa Kijana. And in the end, Wamalwa Kijana became the chair of Ford Kenya, and Raila Odinga didn't agree and set out to form his own political party. It was called the National Development Party, NDP, and he resigned as a member of parliament and a member of Ford Kenya. He resigned as a member of Ford Kenya, member of the National Assembly, to set his own political party and to seek a new mandate from the people who sent him to parliament under Ford Kenya. And because he didn't want to be in Ford Kenya, he wanted to go back and seek a mandate from the people who sent him to parliament under NDP. And he was duly elected and came back to parliament as a member of NDP. And that thing has never happened again. No member of parliament has ever resigned because he disagreed with his political party or has changed alliances to another political party. They remain in name to be members of that political party and act in every way like members of the new outfit with they are illegally cohabiting, and the country has become the poorer for it.
It's so true, and I like that example, because when we say that he is a champion of democracy, he's always worked to see that the system should operate the way it should. Indeed. Back then, as you talk about, and even in 2017 when he challenged the election of Ruto, and up until his passing, he has always been somebody who sought to see that the system works and the constitution works as envisioned. Perhaps I might ask you, do you have any personal reflections about him away from the camera, away from the political arena?
Well, yes and no. Most of the time when I was Speaker, I was a friend to a lot of members, but I didn't socialize with any politician.
Okay.
Because I wanted to remain separate and apart so that I would be able to justifully deal with the members of the House.
That's in line with neutrality of your role as Speaker of the National Assembly.
Exactly, and I really wish that could return. You know, that time there was only one Speaker. Now we have 49, my friend.
In all county assemblies as well, yes.
So the county assemblies and those two of the National Assembly and the Senate bear the same name as the county assembly speakers. You know, that's a different thing. I think we should scratch our heads and get better ways of rearranging ourselves politically. But the thing is this, as a guardian of the House, you must always be neutral. You must not be seen or act in a way that shows that you favor
any side.
And side with anybody, any side. So we had a good relationship. As my member of the House, a lot of time he would come and we chat, and If there was a motion he wanted to move, of course he would seek guidance from the chair and direction, and we created a good relationship.
Okay.
But I have a caveat. As Speaker, I maintained something called confidentiality of any matter that a member discussed with me.
Okay.
Because that is absolutely important to ensure that members, when they come to you, they are confident that if they opened up to you, that matter will not come out. And consequently, of course, there are a lot of matters that members discuss with me, and I'm not even at liberty even now to discuss. But let me just say this. He was a very calculated fellow. He planned ahead, executed the plan in a most meticulous way, never in a rush, but was always conscious of the time to strike. And he struck at the time that the pulse of the country resonated with every word he uttered. And that's how, even in death, he is holding the country together. That is him. And you know, as I said, it will be difficult to get somebody to match or to get anywhere near his shoes.
We've definitely seen the sadness within the capital city. Many mourners are out on the streets and will be throughout this weekend in which we lay him to rest. Perhaps you'd have a word of encouragement for those who feel the depth of his loss.
We all feel that loss. One thing I didn't tell you, in the last election of 2022, I was fully in Raila's campaign team as an advisor. I was in the board of the advisory board for him, and we traveled quite
You believed in him as a political aspirant or a presidential aspirant.
Let me tell you, I truly believed with all my heart that at that time he was the right person to lead this country. I truly believed with all my heart. And I had wished that at some stage Raila would finally lead us. And you know, even now, you know, we have had several luminaries dying in Kenya. We had President Kenyatta dying. We had Daniel Moi, we had Mwai Kibaki, we even had Wamalwa and a lot of others who died in office, including Saitoti. And I don't think there is any one of them, president or deputy, who attracted such an emotional attention across the country as Raila. Nobody has ever mastered the crowd that was there yesterday.
You see it. Yes, JKIA was incredible.
Indeed.
Today at the funeral, Nyayo Stadium is a mass and a wash of people. The love for him.
Indeed, that is the president we were denied to have. In my view, a lot of time, he was denied that baton illegally through the legal process. You know, you can also use the legal process to subvert the truth. And it's tragic. It's tragic when, as a country, your legal process justifies something wrong. And I pray that it will not happen again. I pray that those who are in charge of our national institutions, important national institutions, like the Electoral Commission, like the Supreme Court, they have a duty to Kenyans to do the right thing.
Perhaps then that should
be... And this
be...
is not a request.
Yes.
It is a demand that they must do the right thing. They must honor the decision of Kenyans, whoever they think they are and whatever their opinions are. It is relevant. The supreme organ of the state is always the people. And when the people have spoken, for heaven's sake, let the voice of the people prevail.
That then really should be, when we talk about what Raila Odinga's legacy should be.
Yes.
He constantly fought for the proper institution of the system as envisioned.
Exactly.
And the constant, how do we call it, compromise of the system really then degrades at his legacy. We should be really working towards envisioning the electoral system working as it should be.
Even I was shocked, last time when I followed the proceedings of the petition filed by Raila Odinga against his loss to the Honorable William Ruto.
In 2022.
In 2022.
Yes.
And as a lawyer, I was shocked. I had a language coming out of judicial officials, a language that has never been uttered even by third-class magistrates. I was shocked. I'm still shocked. I think as a legacy to Raila Odinga, every institution of state and every public official must rise to the occasion and do justice and let the Kenyan people decision stand, irrespective of who the contestants are and irrespective of what you yourself think. The Kenyan people are superior to any institution of state and to any individual, official, whoever you are. You must listen to the Kenyan people. This is what Raila fought for all his life. If he didn't get it in life, let's bequeath this to him. Let's finally allow this to happen. He opened the gates, obviously. He opened the gates. He helped to open the gates for the people to be heard, for freedom of the Kenyans. He opened the gates. He opened the gates, but we are not there. We fought for equality, this issue of this distribution of resources.
Especially county government as well. Yes.
By all government organs.
Yes.
Even before the coming of the counties, national resources were distributed in a very skewed manner, and they still are. I think illegally, unjustifiably, and in a sinful way, because every Kenyan is a Kenyan wherever you come from, whatever your tribe, whatever your rank, you are a Kenyan. And if you are Kenyan, you are entitled as of right to every service available in this country from those you have entrusted with those resources. And the sad bit would be, is and has been, that resources are given in a discriminative manner. If I like your tribe, in fact, it has been tribal. You know, you distribute the resources according to tribe. So if I don't like your tribe, I don't give you resources.
But that's contravention to what the Constitution and various statutory provisions provide.
Yes, Yvonne, Raila's war has been put life into those papers called the Constitution. In the end, the Constitution is a piece of paper. It is us who put life to it by making sure that what we have written there is actualized.
Intentionality behind actions. Exactly. It's not just about the words on paper.
Exactly.
It's about who we put in place to drive the actualization of the Constitution.
And how we actually do that. You know, there is no point in saying we are all free and equal, and yet we are not. You know, it's not a new thing even to Kenya. You know, that is what has led to American Civil War. That is also what the black people in America fought for too long: equality before the law, and the right to be served without discrimination.
That's a lot of what the Gen Z agenda is currently. That started in, mid 2024.
Is it is or was? Is it is or was? You know?
Perhaps expound on that. What do you mean?
It was very, very, very interesting to see those youngsters come to demand their right. All of them, irrespective of tribe and things like that.
Yeah, they say tribeless, leaderless.
And I pray to God that they will finally liberate us from tribalism. And they are our future. They are our future. We, the elders now, are exiting the stage. And the stage is going to be theirs for a long time. And consequently, they have a right to be heard on what they want to be done, and they have a right to be heard on what they don't want to be done, because they are Kenyans, and number two, they are there to live longer than those, in ordinary circumstances, than those already in power.
So the death of Mzee leaves a very big gap, yes? Like we say, Gen Z agenda is stewing somewhere on the back burner. We now have lost, somebody who we would say was the leader of opposition going into the 2027 elections. What are your thoughts about...
First of all, let's come back to this Gen Z thing. And I wish I have a copy of the book I wrote, and I think it's in the car. The last thing I said in that book, the last paragraph of the book, is that the best gift that Kenya has at the moment to right the wrongs of the past is our young generation, who are equipped with knowledge, not just of what we used to get knowledge from, but above all, from the internet and other new communications.
How do they fight the system?
Just a moment. Let me finish what my thoughts were.
Yes.
And I thought, these guys, the youngsters, God has put them in place today on a crossroad. They have the ability, they have the opportunity to lead us to change the wrong ways we have lived in the past, but they also have the opportunity to lose it, to leave it, to let it go. And my last question, and I still pose that question. do they have the will to be the agents of change for this country so that finally, we have a nation called Kenya. And I pray to God that they will get that will. I pray to God that God will give us leadership that will liberate us from the wrong things we have done in the past. There are many things that the Kenyan leadership since independence have done that have been useful, no doubt. But there are also a lot of wrong things we have done. Chief among them, the unwillingness to liberate Kenya from tribal yoke. Until we kill tribalism, we'll never be free.
I think, from my perspective, Gen Z certainly has the will. The will exists to free Kenya.
Good.
Unfortunately, will is not enough. Finances is one thing as well. Fighting against live bullets is another thing as well. Fighting against a system where there's an army set against you in your implementation of the will can be very challenging.
Let me put a caveat there. Let me tell you, when you're talking about the army or the police, they will be manned by young people. They will be Gen Zs themselves. So just, if they want to kill themselves, that's fine. But I believe at some stage, they will not kill one another. I believe at one stage, God will give us a leadership that will listen and to the young people, figure out about their tomorrow, where they want to be, and liberate us from the yoke of A, tribalism, B, looting of national resources, 3, careless implementation of projects, and 4th, favoritism. We must get out of that. The young people, at some stage. I pray that that happens when I'm alive, that the young people will be able to liberate us from those evil things, and that we'll be able to give them the opportunity to show us where they can do it. I'm sure, of course, some people will say they are not experienced, but who was born experienced? We all learn along the way. And the young people also must understand that they don't live in this country alone. They live with their older people. They live with younger than they are. They live with their age mates, and they live with some older than them. They should be able to tap the experiences of themselves, of their elders. And always remember, we have only one country. We should never destroy it. We should mend what is wrong as quickly as we can, with all the brains we can muster, but let's never destroy this country. And I wish even now, as we go to bury the Jacom Raila Odinga, I appeal to Kenyans. Let's give him the opportunity to be laid to rest in the most decent manner. Let's give him the respect that is due to him. Let's not do anything or say anything that will detract from what he has fought for too long, under very harsh conditions. He has sacrificed too much for us. Let's just uphold those ideals.
Very well put.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Honorable Francis Ola Kaparo, for joining us to talk about or to celebrate the life, of the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And there's many messages within that. There's a lot of food for thought in terms of trying to reflect on what Raila meant to each of us as Kenyans, to the journey of Kenya and the prosperity of Kenya as a whole. And as we wrap up with Straight Talk, we urge the viewers out there to follow his lesson, to relentlessly pursue democracy in its most purest form. Thank you so much, Honorable Kaparo, for joining us.
Thank you, young lady.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sana.
Yes.
Thank you.
You are watching Straight Talk. I'm your host, Yvonne Chege. Join us again.
Thank you.